Hey, I got this, guys. We still think it's funny to play pranks. I'm not really a part of that amusement, but whatever the case is, welcome in to follow Everton. This is your buddy Domino, Chris, alongside Jan and Jeff. We are here for a watch along for the two matches right now. What's how are you?
Yeah, good. Thanks, mate. Good. Thanks.
I'm very good. I was just a bit busy because I just thought it was. I thought I'd try and stop you because it looked like West Ham just scored. I'm sorry about that. It was an unintentional prank.
You little arse.
Like, at least I didn't do a Mabsy.
Good evening, everyone.
Sorry,
thanks
by the
everyone
way,
for joining in.
Yes.
Go on.
I would like to point out on behalf of
we're
Chris,
having a little. This actually isn't Jeff's. Yeah, go ahead. We're having a little bit of internet trouble here. It's not Jeff, and it's not. There's an issue with our streaming. Might have just been settled. I'm not sure. We're getting a little bit of. You can see the signal in the top left corner of our streaming platform now. For some reason, that's not working well. So we're not really sure what's up. All our internets are fine. So we apologize in advance.
Yeah.
Can you guys hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, Jeff seems to be back. All right, I don't know. Seems to be in and out. Then we'll roll with it if something happens. But listen, yeah, it was a lot of fun in terms of the watch along, and I think we're gonna have a lot of fun today. Well, Jan, you still in recovery mode, are you?
Well, it's not so much that I'm joining you provisionally for the first half. I'll see how I do, but I have had a horrible migraine for the last sort of 36 hours. So I'm all right. It's just lights, sounds, and the TV and screens are just not advisable right now. So, you know.
Yes, Jeff has internet. Woohoo!
It's going pretty. We did a little test run beforehand, and Jeff it was fantastic.
Yeah. Right, so I've got to point out that tonight's matches, there is Man United Brentford running in the background, but let's be honest, that doesn't really affect Everton. So we're going to do what Sky Sports and BT do, and pretend that any match that's not directly relevant to their broadcasting doesn't even exist. You know, just like football doesn't exist prior to 1992 in the Premier League era. Anything that's not featured on the same channel is of no relevance or bearing whatsoever. So Man United Man United in theory could go up to third, but then again, we kind of want Newcastle to win. So that would just stay as is because there's an 18-goal difference in their goal difference. And they could leapfrog Tottenham, which would be interesting. I mean, a point would see them both go above Tottenham, and all the teams in third, fifth, and sixth who are. They're all on. Newcastle, Spurs, and Man United are sort of in this 2 out of 3 competing for Champions League position. Although Brighton could catch them up because Spurs have played 29 games. Newcastle, Man United, and Brighton have played 27. But anyway, and Brentford are vying to knock Liverpool out of European football, which is interesting. But we turn our attention to the bottom of the table and hope that Newcastle can get a result at the Bulling Ground, because although West Ham could go 12th and leapfrog Wolves, Leeds and Palace, if they draw they'll go up to 14th and switch places with Wolves on goal difference, and if they lose, well, we're not going to switch places with them if they lose unless Newcastle score 10 goals.
Fair enough. Excellent.
I don't see it.
But we haven't spoke about first the biggest news of the night. Go on. Chris is having issues.
I have Newcastle players
oh my God! Someone on a stream having issues, and it's not me. Yeah, the biggest story so far.
I'm coming in perfectly clear. I don't think I am having issues.
Are you not? Oh, excellent. So yeah, the biggest issue coming in tonight is Frank Lampard.
Oh my God! The ball goes into the box from the right-hand corner of the box. It dinks into about 8 yards out, and Botman, is it Botman? I don't know. Somebody, giant barcode. No, someone, a Newcastle player has just headed it in, and Fabianski was perfectly static, and David Moyes looks as frustrated as he did when Bilbo stole the ring.
Brilliant. Wow.
It's Sam Maximan, I believe. Left foot curls it in.
Yeah.
Sam Maximan curls it in. Great ball, left foot, just dinked in about a yard into the box. And just fantastic header from Wilson, actually. My mistake. Wilson. Where did I get Botman from?
Don't know.
Yeah, Wilson leaps up, completely unmarked. Dink. Ball off his head. Well, he headers it, so it kind of goes in off his head. And that is a fantastic start to our evening.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, because we've had a few weeks now where we've had the other teams getting results that we didn't really want. But last night, I think even though West Ham won, even though Leeds won, I think overall the results went for us last night, didn't they? So,
yeah, broadly speaking, I mean, Chris did make a very good point. He said week in, week out, depending on who's playing who, you might want different teams to win. So I suppose, all in all, and West Ham dinked a ball in. And to be fair, Pope had to palm it over.
Yeah.
Sorry, what I was just going to say is interesting that like Sky like to wheel out the statistics. This is what David Moyes' 150th match, and they were saying he's got one of the highest win percentages of West Ham managers at 37%. Of games played, 55 out of 150. Oh, 149, but this is 150. But I would like to point out that when you look at it this season, because it's only the latest season that really matters, his win percentage, if we can count this match so far as losing, is 25%.
Yeah. Yeah, so, which is really poor. But it's like I said, this season has been so weird so far that that we're seeing some really strange results and some real. I think what we're seeing is some real nervousness now. I think that when you get down to this end of the sort of season, the pressure on the result becomes so much like higher, doesn't it? That the players, the managers, the fans, they all feel it. And it affects the results. You can tell it clearly affects the results. If players were, you look at some of the teams that, they should be doing better than they are. So it can only be pressure and internal strife that's causing them to sort of lose some of these games because, if you just look at the names on the team sheets of some of these squads, they're far too good to be in the position that they're in, but here they are. So, I just think pressure's getting to everyone. Yeah, exactly. Leicester shouldn't have been anywhere near the bottom. West Ham shouldn't be anywhere near the bottom of the table. There's a few teams that shouldn't really. So it's going to be a real tough run in. I mean, the bottom of the table is so much more interesting than the top of the table from a neutral point of view. It's going to go down to the wire as who stays up and who goes down. It really is, and it could be some surprising teams that actually get relegated. I'm not going to include us in that conversation just yet.
No. Can I just point out
if Chris returned?
Chris may be returning. Can I point out if
go on?
There's several things we can talk about in the background while this is happening. I mean, should we maybe talk about the football a little bit? Because Newcastle have got possession. They're doing all right. West Ham haven't capitulated yet, but Newcastle look on charge. They look like they've found a bit of return to form. I mean, okay, yeah, they won 2-0, but they did have a bit of a dip in their performance. I'd say.
Yeah,
not their results.
But like I said, the first thing we need to talk about, we have to talk about this. Frank Lampard is the new Chelsea manager.
Lampard, yes.
Frank Lampard is the new Chelsea manager. That's not a joke.
Yeah.
Like, they've sacked Potter and hired Frank Lampard. I don't know whether it's until the end of the season. I'm not entirely sure.
Just in time to talk about Frank Lampard.
But they're appointing Frank Lampard.
Well, like, can I raise a question about that?
I've ever heard you.
Can I raise a question about that? My thinking is, do you guys think
that?
do you guys believe that what I said at first was I was concerned that although I think Potter could have done well, you know, he was doing great at Brighton and he was good at man management.
You're right, Dave. I'm not neutral.
Sports psychology. Do you think that it's possible that he didn't have the prestige and the cachet and the proven track record to manage the personalities at Chelsea, and therefore there we go. The flag goes up, a ball went forward. Sorry about that. Joe Linton received a ball forward from midfield. He was probably a couple of yards offside, but the flag was not immediate, and he ran forward clear. Nobody was chasing him. We're just about to see. Oh, he might be onside. Leaning into an offside position. So a shoulder, but you know, whether it depends whether the team's in red or not, whether VAR will adjudge that as offside or not. He's leaning into it. I'd say it's about this part of him from the neck to the elbow. That may or may not be offside. He's being played onside by oh Lord, who's the Emerson, the left back. Oh, checking disallowed goal. No, that's probably going to stand if you ask me.
Well done, sir.
But we are yet to see. They're looking at it, and no doubt they're going to use, as they always do.
Anyway,
let's
let's
claret for Newcastle and blue and white for West Ham. Red, black and white for God knows what. Yeah, sorry. Back to Lampard.
Back to Chris. You there, Mama?
No, you guys go ahead. I don't know if
it's onside.
Are you struggling, my mate?
Nice. I'm not sure. I don't know what's coming through, if my internet's working or not. But...
Woo!
Also, I'm about a minute, 60 to 90 seconds
2-0?
behind. So yeah, I just assume. Yeah, go on.
So it is 2-0.
No, it's all right, mate. No, it's all right. So yeah, we were just talking about
this TV, isn't?
Mitrovic, did you say?
Well, I said Jeff's internet might be in the 21st century, but his TV isn't. Yeah.
Yeah, my TV is. It's just not on.
Oh, why are you not watching it?
I've literally got my phone. Because I'm in the kitchen, so I've literally got stuff on my phone right in front of me here. So, yeah. So are you struggling? Are you, Chris? You are struggling.
It's okay.
So yeah, basically, like I said, the Lampard situation is I think they're basically appointing him until the end of the season. So he's just going to be an interim manager, as far as I can tell. And I suppose I can see some logic in that, because obviously he's not going to be... I presume they're not going to make any kind of full decision until the summer. And after sacking Potter, maybe they just think that they've got no chance of getting into the Champions League. They've no chance of getting relegated or anything like that. So bringing him in is probably just... well,
he's a legend at Chelsea. I mean, he's a legend. He's a legend in the English game, and he's certainly a legend at Chelsea. And there's going to be a lot of I wouldn't say that the club and the structure and the hierarchy, but certainly if he's bringing back Ashley Cole, there's going to be a lot of cachet and a lot of prestige that comes from being, an established Chelsea legend with him coming back.
That's my kitchen,
Sorry.
He's just said try it without the green screen. One of the viewers. Is that all right, Barry? Hey, Paul. Sorry. Maybe my green screen was affecting the viewing. I'm really sorry about that, mate. Only need 8 more.
I mean, to be fair, I wouldn't mind Newcastle winning 10-0, but I've got to say, I just hope that Anthony Gordon doesn't get any. What do you feel? Do you think we're going to see Anthony Gordon?
I honestly don't care. I'm in that kind of mind where I don't care. I do not care about in terms of whether they do well, they don't do well. I don't care because they're not here anymore. All I care about really is. So, if he does well, he does well. If he doesn't, he doesn't. It's fine. As long as he doesn't score against us in the next. That's all I'm really bothered about because we're in a battle to survive, and I just want us to win. To be honest,
West Ham are putting some pressure on now.
It's a really bad start, though, isn't it? 2-0 after sort of 12, 13 minutes is a really, really poor start. So it's interesting because is David Moyes going to be sacked? I mean, we've had a few sackings in the last in the last sort of few days that you kind of feel like maybe they've left it a bit too late. But Rodgers going, Potter going, which is a bit of a mad one. I think that was just a ridiculous decision to sack him. So
I mean, you are right. I'm just going to see if I can. I'm going to see if I can get the United Brentford game on because, to be fair, we do play United next, and it's kind of important to see how United are going to be doing. I'll see if it's on one of the channels or something.
Right. Okay. Brilliant. This is chaotic, isn't it?
Absolute shambles.
Yes, it is an absolute shambles. But welcome to the stream. So,
Barcelona, Real Madrid.
Let's just say hello to everyone and welcome, and read some comments out. Remember to smash the like button. Thanks, Eugene. Yeah. Chelsea appointing Lampard as a caretaker, which is bizarre. Yeah, it's a strange decision in my opinion, but it is what it is. I can understand that they haven't got a lot on the line, and so maybe just appointing him till the end of the season isn't really the long-term plan. But at least it's just basically just he'll do for now until the end of the season because they've got nothing really to play for. But he is going to have to play. He is going to have to manage in the Champions League. So good luck against Madrid with a caretaker manager and forwards who can't score goals.
Did you notice Aubameyang had liked that Instagram post?
What was that? Sorry.
Aubameyang had liked an Instagram post where they were thanking Potter for his time there. We are working on getting
Lampard back.
We are working on getting Chris back. I think he might be having issues.
Yeah, no, you're right. Internet. You're right, Blue Sky. It's bizarre. It's just one of the maddest seasons I can ever remember, to be honest. But this is something I'm really happy about. Harry Kane getting loads of stick for being a cheating, diving, swan diving, injury faking NOB. I know that's not how you spell it, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, we are before the watershed.
I know that's very. I was very careful not to say something rude and naughty. This is a wait for the news conference. Sorry, my mate. we were having technical difficulties. Your poor man in the States is like normally the internet problem. It's me, but it's not me today. It's somebody else. Oh my word! It's amazing. I feel so happy.
I know. It's...
Definitely want a Newcastle win. Yeah, definitely. And 2-0 is a great step in that direction. Oh, what was this? Who said this? Always Newcastle, me. Nice one, Wanderlust.
Right, so Man United are very much on top of their game.
Yes, Chris and Jan. Yes.
Yeah.
Go on.
Yeah, Man United are very much
Dave.
on top of their game, but they are yet to score, rather frustratingly.
Hi, Chris.
But, you know, we do well. I suppose we'd rather Brentford score to put the pressure on, and hopefully Man United are not doing very well. So really, I cocked up there. It was just automatic, assuming that Brentford would be involved in a relegation battle. Welcome back, Chris.
Tried to reset the internet. We'll see if it works.
No, I do apologise
sounds
earlier,
all right
by the
so
way.
far.
When the stream started, I didn't intentionally stop anything going on when we were doing our introduction. It was actually noticed the internet was a bit slow, and then it was Chris there, and I tried to get it done. But our stream, it's not necessarily Chris or Jeff's internet. It's more the streaming site that we're actually having a bit of trouble, as they sometimes do. With yeah. So apologies for that. We do appreciate that. But thank you for joining
Fingers
us.
crossed going forward. We shall see if it holds up.
So yeah, thoughts on Eugene? Thoughts on Lampard? Thoughts on Lampard being the manager again? Like I said, I think that
it can't be real.
They're not going to get in the Champions League. They're not going to finish. They're not for. They're not going to get. They've got a Champions League against Real Madrid. So I just think let's get him in there. People like him. He'll do all right. We'll finish the season out, and then we can go from there and make a decision in the summer. So
he won't do all right.
I think it's just a case of a short. No, but he can't really. He's not going to get them relegated. They're not going to get in the Champions League anyway. So I think it's just a case of I don't understand why sacking Potter was a decision. If you're going to invest that kind of money, you're going to spend I think it was 20 at Brighton. You know, you bring him in, you give him a 5.5 or whatever it was, and then sack him because he is taking some time to figure this shit out. You know, it just
Luke Shaw has just received a yellow card.
You know.
Luke Shaw has just received a yellow card at Old Trafford. Brentford have a free kick. West Ham are applying a lot of pressure. They've been Antonio's been driving forward. They do look like they might want to try and score. They're actually looking to attack.
I've got old Pash, have I?
But in relation, I don't know what you think about this.
Nicky, so I'm trying not to swear. No, it's all right.
I was just covering the games a little bit there. Sorry, let's go back to Lampard.
Look at Jeff giving it the big one.
Yes. But Mark said before, Mark Burton said before, Frank's type of football may suit the Chelsea players and he could do us all a favour. Which, I mean, it would be interesting to see, because I think Chelsea are playing some of the bottom teams that are around us. But you know, maybe he's got the mentality. But having said that, the game they played the other day, watching them, they were just playing it across the back. It was and that was with under Potter. Although they were pushing forward and there was some more incisiveness, and it really against Liverpool. I mean, I tried to avoid who they were saying who they were playing, but it did very much look like something was gonna snap and I think it was right that they maybe got rid of Potter if the players aren't responding to him. But I think, again, it boils down to Everton that the players weren't responding to him, but it's all on them. I mean, he could have come out with another Conte rant, and they're having a drinks break at Old Trafford.
I guess you must. I don't know how far ahead of me you are. I think I'm pretty behind on both. I must be behind on both streams.
I think so.
Oh, the Blues is asking if they've missed any drama. I mean, aside from dodgy streaming service that is delaying or messing up our wonderful and professional video, you've missed 2 goals. A wonderful ball in from Sam Maximan, just coming into the right-hand corner of the box and curling it with his left foot. And Wilson, completely unmarked and unchallenged, goes for the head, and it loops. I mean, Fabianski can't do anything about it. And West Ham have just.
Oh, that's a goal. Marcus Rashford.
You're ahead of me.
Well, you spoiled the other game, so we'll call it even.
Goal! Oh,
not what I wanted to see from Marcus Rashford from a fantasy perspective.
Wow. What a wonderful goal here at Old Trafford, and it's Marcus Rashford who's taken the lead for Man United against Brentford. Back over to you in the studio.
So we've got goals in both matches now.
Yeah.
Was Ryan just doing that? Ryan's dicked off at football. There we go. Goal, Man United.
So I am equally as ahead in the United game as I am behind in the Newcastle game. Interesting.
Okay.
This is amazing.
And it flashes to the crowd in Old Trafford, where everyone's just politely standing and clapping and taking pictures on their phones.
Show us your iPads. Show us your iPads. I won't finish that.
Okay, I've got West Ham.
I'm not neutral, Dave. I'm definitely not neutral.
There's 3 of them taking it. Oh, and it was a fairly good left-handed, left-footed shot by Paqueta that curled round the wall, and Pope had to dive, and it would have just gone in maybe a foot if he wouldn't have got a strong hand onto it, pushed it out for a corner. But Pope dived low and to his right, to the left of the goal. West Ham have got a corner. It's going in towards the centre, and it's headed away by Newcastle. Oh no, it's on the edge of the box. 2 West Ham players swung for it, and neither of them got it. He's driven forward. They're up there. Newcastle, West Ham are playing it around the left corner. And yeah, that confirms it. They are terrible. Anyway.
Yeah, I certainly don't see a scenario where West Ham are scoring 3 goals in this fixture.
Oh, Antonio drove forward then on the left and got into about the 6-yard box and was tackled by somebody. Some big... I'm not going to say anything that could get us done for libel or slander or, well, slander.
Ooh. Okay.
Yes, you okay?
Is everyone kind of up to? Is everyone up on the actual stream now? Are we all in the same time zone?
No, I think we're all kind of a bit scattered, but we'll make the best of it.
Oh wait. Mate, I did get new Wi-Fi.
He got new Wi-Fi and then immediately StreamYard.
I have got new Wi-Fi. Yeah. Can't handle it. I wonder if
I think it might be. It's Homeland Security.
The data.
Chris. It's Chris. It's Homeland Security because you haven't applied for a visa, but it looks like you're inside Goodison Park.
Right, and they've had enough of that. Someone's broken in.
Yeah.
Oh, Eric Ten Hag is looking very Mike Ehrmantraut for anyone out there who's seen who's seen Breaking Bad or Better Call Saul.
Why my internet's awful?
Oh, Newcastle were rushing into the box. It was Wilson, I think Wilson again. And Fabianski got down and low and got a hand to it. And I'm just surprised that he didn't go down and claim a penalty.
Someone has to talk.
What do I have on my...
Because this is...
Is it right to want the horse punchers to score another 9 so we move up a place? I have no idea who you're talking about, Paul. Oh, the shouts for a penalty to West Ham. No, he's just collapsed. Antonio doing typical nonsense. What do I have on my pizza? It's mushroom and garlic. I'm going for a wonderfully healthy pizza.
What a horrible decision. Mushroom. Good Lord. Terrible. That's almost as bad as Amy not liking or thinking that barbecue beef is a horrible crisp flavor.
What?
Amy said this. She said that she's on record as for saying it.
Yeah, but she's from bloody Preston or something, isn't she?
Yeah, she's who knows? She might as well be from as far away as I am. But she did say that she was a fat. What did she dip in her tea? Because I was saying I'm a hobnob person, and then
custard creams.
Custard creams are very good as well. Wait, what? What kind of face is that? You don't like hobnobs or custard creams?
No, I love hobnobs. Custard creams aren't really biscuits. They're kind of like... Brentford are on the attack on the left, and it's fizzled out to nothing.
Hobnobs, custard creams, chalky digestives, and bourbons.
Right, I've got a spicy take for you.
All right.
I know they're big in America. I can't stand Oreos.
Oh yeah, you're. I don't know what to tell you. Like, it's not even one of those where it's like I can respect your opinion. Like, you're just wrong.
I'm sorry. What kind of biscuit is it, dude? It's like cardboard.
It's like a chocolate custard cream, if you really think about it, I guess. What do you mean it's like cardboard? Hang on a second. It's a delicious cookie or biscuit, and it's filled with cream. Like, it's amazing. I don't even really eat Oreos that often, but like.
Okay, sorry. When you say cream, what American word is it that is like this sort of flavorless, weird toothpaste? What's that translate to?
I'm trying to come up with something funny here, and I just didn't have the time. But I don't think it's that.
It's not a comeback if you've got to think about it.
I guess that's fair, but I don't know. I'll ride or die with Oreos. Although, I don't know. There are certain things that one side do better. I think crisps are better in the UK. Probably. Like, I don't know. Maybe just because I've had a couple that I think. Like hula hoops. Hula hoops to me, I mean, sure. I don't know which way we're going to translate it, but.
Well, Walkers are essentially Lays, aren't they?
Walkers are Lays. I think Pringles are still Pringles, right? There's another one that translates easy.
No. I'm sorry. In England, they're Lord Pringleton's wafered crisps.
I see. Fair enough. What I can't get behind is a Twiglet. Can't do it.
Oh no, they're disgusting.
It's Marmite.
Filth.
They're delicious. Do you know Marmite? The yeast extract used to make Marmite is still bought from breweries as a byproduct of the brewing process. The fermentation
all sounds
process.
Terrible to me. I don't know. How's my internet, by the way? Man United are making a sub. Someone must have gone off injured.
Oh.
I have missed it.
Well, I was going to make a joke about a questionable player that may or may not play Premier League football for Man United ever again, but
we'd never want to do that.
No, I mean it's looking wild at Upton Road because really Newcastle were on top, scored 2 great goals, and possibly could have got through and had a third or a fourth, or scored a third goal from a couple of good chances. But that's a bad foul. Oh God, I sound like Mitchell and Webb. Oh, and that's a bad miss.
Yeah, you were way ahead of me in that game. So I'll trust your judgment.
And Newcastle are running forward on the right hand side. I can't see. I'm not watching it in HD. Oh, and it's Sam Maximum. No. Yeah, Sam Maximum, who's got it on the left wing. He's all over. He's on the right. He's on the left. He's like a Liberal Democrat.
Who's just come on for United here?
Well, I don't know why I'm bothering watching the United game when you're watching it there.
Well, should I turn off the Newcastle game then?
No, just do what you want. Hi, Susanna.
Jeff's, I think, trying to sort out. Oh, what did Susanna say? Why is she blocked?
I don't know, because it's just a topless picture of, or not a topless, a bikini picture of somebody. I'm pretty sure that if anyone just, like the good old days of Sears catalogs, anyone could look on Google Images for something like that. I think didn't say anything, just a blank
Susanna
message.
Sounds like she needs to be welcomed into our channel, and then you've gone and blocked her, and now we've lost her forever. Unbelievable.
Look, football support is inclusive. I just don't know what they were adding other than maybe promoting their own site, going like,
I want it on record that Jan is discriminating against toplessness and the right for women to show their body. And I, for one, am offended.
Hi.
To be fair, though, I mean, we know we've kind of made it when bot and spam accounts start finding our channel. That means we're out there, baby. Come on.
Oh, we are well out there.
All right, I am actually going. Well, I'll keep Newcastle on, but in the background because you will keep me updated there. I will focus on United and Brentford. This will be just like Soccer Saturday. This is perfect. You're live with the Newcastle West Ham, and I'm sat here at Old Trafford. I will not make my background Old Trafford, though. That's where I draw the line.
I'm doing my best. I'll do my best to put my Chris Kamara hat on, and it's like, oh, and they're getting their ducklings in a row, like going to church on a Sunday morning, Jeff. It's all excitement and go here as West Ham are hammering away at Newcastle. The Magpies are, well, what is it? 1 for sorrow, 2 for joy, and they certainly got joy here. And Antonio could have gone down, and West Ham are working it into the box, and Newcastle clear it away. It all turns out to be absolutely nothing.
Hate to see it.
Yeah.
Oh, that Rashi goal really hurts, though. By the way, Luke Shaw has been substituted.
Oh, well, he was on a yellow.
Yeah, but it's on 35 minutes also.
Well, it could just be because he's useless.
Certainly could make that argument, yes. I don't know. He doesn't have a... I'll take it to the grave that Harry Maguire has one of the most punchable faces that I've ever seen. Maybe that's a Harry thing, because Harry Kane's right up there as well. And Harry Kane's is at least hard to miss. Like, I feel like if you closed your eyes and just threw your fist out at any point, you're likely to at least get some of Harry Kane's face. The weird thing is,
I don't know. Obviously, this is just humor, but I'm a little bit, when West Ham have scored, but there's protests that just Newcastle have stood around. Okay. West Ham have just got a goal. I was too busy making a joke, but there seems to be some sort of weird. It's Zuma. It's the cat binner.
Is it actually going to stand, though?
Corner from the right-hand side. Goes to the back post. Pope completely misses it. Antonio seems to be potentially impeding him a little bit. Can't really see. Sort of. Oh, he missed that. Pope should have got that. And it just completely, it goes right past his hand. Antonio's about a couple of feet behind him, and he just headers it down, and it goes into the goal.
It's a bad beat. I've got I've got Kieran Trippier and Nick Pope, so I take quite a hit on that West Ham goal fantasy-wise. It's a rough week, but we move on. And it's bad for all of us, given that we don't want West Ham scoring goals. So it's really just a double bad beat.
Well, at least they haven't scored a second yet.
Yet. I'm sure it'll happen. When's the last time Newcastle conceded 2 goals? Maybe it's more recent than I think, but I get the feeling it's been a while. In a league game, by the way. I know about the League Cup final.
Oh, that's
Man City. That would be the last time. It has been a few weeks, though. Other than that, though, that's the only time Newcastle have conceded 2 goals this season. No.
Oh, it wasn't Antonio. Sorry, I said at first it was Kurt Zuma. Yeah, what is that? The first or the second time this season? Sorry,
it would be the third time. It looks like Newcastle. Is this score right? Yeah, it looks like a weird one. Newcastle have only conceded 2 goals 3 times this season, so it would be quite shocking if it were twice against Man City and once against Liverpool.
Well, it's not going to be the end of the world, is it?
Well, no. I mean, honestly, at this point, I don't think that's. We spoke about earlier. I kind of missed the discussion on Lampard, but I don't know.
Oh, there was a bad foul. Sorry, West Ham, Newcastle. There was a very bad foul there.
What's happened?
It was only a yellow, but maybe it was his theatrics afterwards that looked worse.
Got a head injury in the Man United game. Not sure who it is. It's absolutely coming down like a monsoon in Manchester at the moment.
Oh, thank you very much, Simon. Villa fan here. Hope you guys stay up.
Hey,
is that because
we also hope that.
Yeah, is that an appreciation there for old school football and the fact that Villa Everton is the most played footballing fixture in English football?
I would assume so.
Which to me, I was wondering if that would be a good last game if they can schedule it.
Is it one of those where, if we're being honest, we haven't beaten Villa in a long time, and he hopes that we stay up so that he gets a free, 6 points next season.
Well, I think a lot of people are thinking that.
Makes sense, Simon. I see where you're coming from, buddy.
And as always, there is the ubiquitous Liverpool advertising on Sky Sports for the that other team playing.
I am glad that I don't have Sky Sports over here.
But you do have media that's owned a lot by Rupert Murdoch. Same thing.
Well, not really. I mean, that doesn't mean that I watch that media, to be fair, but or that's required. Like you have to watch Sky Sports if you want to watch football over there. Man United really controlling the narrative here. Not too much of throw. Well, as soon as I say that, a bad turnover. Brentford have possession in the final third. Crossed in. That's Ivan Toney, somehow still playing Premier League football.
What?
But he has missed the target. It's still 0-0.
I bet he didn't bet on that one then.
Yeah, this is an interesting one here, by the way. Onana linked with Arsenal. I saw a few of these rumors. I would take that with a grain of salt, as these sort of things always are going to come out. Whether it was Richarlison last year, Richarlison for years and years, I should say, with the same with Dominic Calvert-Lewin back, every year from 2019 on. So,
yeah, it's just always the way.
And that's not saying that we won't move Amadou Onana. There's so much to say there. I love Onana as in terms of, I mean, this goes without saying, in terms of a young potential talent, superstar, et cetera, et cetera. But having said that, from the other side of it, from a business perspective, isn't that the kind of business that you want Everton doing? A literal 1-year turnover and a 40 to 50 million pound profit? I mean,
well, if we're talking about balancing the books as well.
Yeah, that's a no-brainer in terms of balance. If it's one of those where we have to get out of this mess to avoid a points deduction, it's a no-brainer. But I've said it before, I'll say it again. I don't think it's going to get to that. But I just, like I said, from a simple numbers, pounds and pence. I was going to say dollars and cents, but I tried to convert that over. In terms of a pounds and pence argument, it's a very simple move. If something like 70 million is offered, then I don't know. I'd hate to lose him. Again, can't stress enough. I don't want to lose Onana, but I could easily see that actually taking place. But again, until then, it's all just rumors and speculation, and who knows?
Ball played forward by Newcastle, going on the left, and they drove it down. Sam Maximan played it to the right, and it's going across. Somebody, nobody got it. Never mind. He played it to the right. It came back in. He got it on the left, and then he dinked it in. And wow, West Ham are getting desperate.
Would like to see Brentford. It won't happen before we're at halftime now at Old Trafford, but would like to see Brentford put up a bit of a fight in the second half. I mean, forget the fact that they're chasing Europe and things like that. So just for them, obviously, they'd like to see the same. But from our perspective, you want to see them make United run a little bit and tire these legs out for Saturday. But it'll be an interesting one because the rain doesn't seem to be stopping at Old Trafford, and so that's going to make quite a slick playing area, one would imagine. I'm sure they're.
So what you want to see is a United player stretch for a late Brentford to get a goal and for really put United under the cosh, and then United to stretch and really push for it until eventually one of their strikers or a top player or somebody decides to try and slide in for a wonderful, wonderful goal, but misjudges it, slides too far in the wet, ends up clattering into the West Ham keeper. They get a red card, so they're suspended for the Everton game, and the West Ham keeper is out for a few weeks, and really their games in hand are pointless, and they start shipping goals left, right, and centre. Yeah, wonderful. Just in that one comment you said there, Chris, absolute astute assessment there. Wonderful.
Well said. Would you like to see Leicester appoint Jesse Marsch? Certain relegation. I'd like to note that while I'm not a huge Jesse Marsch defender, he has one relegation scrap experience, and he is 1 for 1 in keeping his teams up, much like Frank Lampard. Leicester apparently more things have come out regarding Rafa Benitez going to Now, the thing about Rafa Benitez, though, is the rumors coming out are saying that Rafa Benitez is only going to be at Leicester for the rest of the season. And that's how I know that none of these rumors are true, because Rafa Benitez is never under any circumstances going to sign a contract
for
just
10
for
matches
the rest of the season, ever.
Yeah.
And so that's why I'm not putting any stock into the Benitez rumors to Leicester. Now, if it comes out that he's going to sign a 3-year deal and get paid like he always does by stupid clubs who are willing to give this idiot multiple years worth of money, then we'll see. But and I'm not just speaking about Everton, trust me.
And it's now halftime at West Ham versus Newcastle. They've gone in at halftime. Newcastle 2-1 up as the players take the 6-minute walk from the pitch to all the way across the Atlantic.
Have you been to that stadium?
No, I haven't. You mean the one that got gifted to West Ham?
Yeah,
without having to pay any money.
Yeah, I went last season to the 2-1 loss, and we it felt like about an hour's walk from the stadium to the train afterwards. I've rarely, if ever, experienced such a ridiculous walk. Arsenal's felt a little bit long as well, but nothing near from the London stadium. It was ridiculous. But now I guess I've almost checked off every London stadium at this point. I'm missing Fulham.
While it's halftime, my dad went to Fulham, and he said it was it's a lovely sort of family-friendly old ground, and it's Archibald Leach, the one that did the crossbeam stanchions, very similar design to a lot of the Goodison. But while we're talking about stadium, when I went to the Emirates, it's very impressive inside, but it does feel a bit soulless. And when you're outside, it's just poured concrete. And I don't know what you thought about that. It's literally, it's like you're round the back of a supermarket or a warehouse. It's just flat, curved all the way around. There's no real it might look good on TV from the aerial shots and the drones and the
Right.
and the helicopters, but when you're up close, you're just like, well, am I going into a train station? Am I going into an office block? I don't know.
So
this was my
second time there. I went there once last season as well, for an Arsenal home game though. So I've sat in both the home and away end. I was randomly in London for another game, and I said I need something to do. Let's go to the game. But it has all of the vibes, both inside and outside of an American football stadium. And there's pros and cons to that. Obviously, the massive concourses, the massive space inside is fantastic. That's the pro. The con would be the way you just described the outside, and obviously the prices of everything inside are absurd, food and drinks.
I will say that I've been to Lambeau though, and that had a feel about it.
Yeah, no, Lambeau's unbelievable. I'm more speaking of the modern day, the more recently built football stadiums. Oh man, Lambeau is by far the most fun I've had in an away American football game.
It's wonderful because you go, but just for anybody who's not necessarily been to America or seen these stadiums, as you're walking through and experiencing it, there's a huge glass atrium, there's statues, there's memorabilia everywhere. But when I say the facilities inside there are incredible, I mean maybe there's some better ones at other purpose-built new stadia in America, but you go into Lambeau. Immediately when you go in, there's like a 2-story restaurant with bars that's like a sports bar inside the stadium. You go around the concourse halfway round, all the way around the bowl, halfway up. There's a huge concourse that goes all the way around, and there's like at service stations or airports or train stations or things like that, where you've got these fast food places of Subway, McDonald's, Burger King, KFC, all that. They've got these places that hold not just a concession stand with a shuttered window. I'm talking about full-on restaurants.
Yeah, I think it's funny because Lambeau is near the. I loved Lambeau for the feel of the football, but as far as the stadium goes, Lambeau's near the bottom of the list. I need to take you to some of the more recent football stadiums in America, because some of these, when I say they blow your mind, they blow my mind. So when I say they'll blow your mind, you haven't experienced anything like a stadium atmosphere until you go to a place like Dallas, till you go to a place like Atlanta with they've just built their new stadium. LA just has SoFi Stadium. San Francisco's, I think, is less than 10 years old as well. Some of these stadiums are just, it's hard to wrap your head around. And I mean, the owners put all the, or not all of it, the city puts a lot of money into it too, but the owners invest a ton of money into these stadiums for that reason. And the owner of the Los Angeles Rams is the same owner that owns Arsenal, Stan Kroenke. And so he put a lot of money into the Emirates, and
in regard to Mark's comment, sounds like you could be drunk before kickoff. Yes, but what I noticed
that's always a thing.
But what I noticed in America though is there's not the same drinking culture like that you have in England. I mean, yeah, of course, there's always going to be people who drink, but in public and stuff, it's almost like, I'm not making a generalization here, but there's almost a sort of a very, it's a lovable brashness that when you get drunk and you're like, woo, yeah, woo, it's like, we're here to have a good time. It's not like 5 surly blokes, with
well, what you're describing is about 5 minutes into the first quarter. And now when you get to midway to the end of the third quarter and the game starts to get a little bit more tense, yes, it gets a little bit, and the home and away fans all sit together. And so it gets a little bit out of control. Now, American football is known for their tailgating, because these fans get out there hours, sometimes a day or two early. Like I went to a university called LSU, Louisiana State University. It's widely known as the best tailgating experience in the United States for college football. These people get out there in their RVs and their camper vans and their giant, vehicles on a Wednesday or a Thursday for a Saturday game. And they camp out.
Yeah, it's like jambalaya and hog roasts, and
it's the best. I live for that. I grew up in the town where LSU is, Baton Rouge, Louisiana. It is a religious experience, is the only way I can describe it. I did it my whole life. I remember, I kind of took it for granted growing up because I just think it's a normal thing. But then when I move away, I'm like, oh man, like I miss this. And then you go to other schools and they do it well. Don't get me wrong. You can have a good tailgating experience at a lot of places. but it's not like home.
Yeah.
No,
But can I
whoever
just-
had that comment, the Blues is correct. Yes, a lot of people can't handle it, and that goes for America and the UK. I've seen it both ways.
But Mr. Blue Skies just said, and it's just something that I want to touch on, but I don't want to necessarily go on a rant. He says, prone to going on a rant on every stream. Mr. Blue Skies, does anyone know if the pitch size at Bramley Moor will be the same size as Goodison? I believe, from what I've heard, that it will be an exact replica, except it won't be curved like Goodison is due to the underpitch heating and various things that have gone over the years. Because also, that's why you always see the Everton managers right on the touchline outside the technical area, so they can see over the other side of the pitch, which, you know, there is a couple of feet difference between the middle, the centre, and the touchlines at the sides. Now, what I do want to touch on, though, is since we've talked about the stadium experience, I had a conversation recently, and I'm very frustrated that there seems to be, like we talk about, Everton might be good with the PR, with the fantastic stuff they did with Harry, that young lad who's not very well, that met Jordan Pickford recently. Fantastic, wonderful, you know.
One of my favorite stories in a long time.
Yeah. However, what I will say is, from my point of view, Everton seem to be very naive when it comes to fan engagement and opportunities. And I contacted the club recently about what are they doing in regards to potentially purchasing sites within a 5-10 minute walk of the Bramley Moor dock site, so that they can be converted on match day for car park usage. And then they have them signposted where people with season tickets, obviously that's going to be a large percentage, but no, I said not good. Where they have, why don't they have it allocated so that you walk to these car parks, and that that you have traffic management, so that from these certain car parks, you don't park according to where you sit in the ground. You park according to where you're leaving afterwards, what direction you're traveling, whether you go up Vauxhall, whether you take the Strand down, whether you go up Leeds Road, past towards Scotland Road and head up towards the motorway, right? It just seems so strange that they're not allocating these things, because it's so frustrating to see the club's responsibility literally end at, well, we've done our part, or we've got our planning permission, right? But it's not just that, because I don't want to be boring and talk about parking, but that's an example of it. It's like, oh yeah, well, we'll do that. And it's difficult, because then you contact the council on match day and they have match day traffic light priority and all this kind of stuff. But taking it a step further, we've got the Winslow, the Royal Oak, the Spellow, the Abbey, you know, all these iconic pubs. We've got Goodison News and the Chippy and the Chinese places, and the church, St. Luke's, with the tea and coffee downstairs, and the program fair upstairs. You've got the stalls that hang around. Okay, yeah, we've got the fan zone. But my question is, right, why the hell have Everton not made the use of the huge footprint of Bramley Moor Dock behind the walls? Say, for instance, they're not talking to business owners about transplanting the business, having a shareholder or mutual ownership, or at the very least, you can replicate the inside of these places and have, for instance, a row of terraced places. When you walk through the gates of Bramley Moor, you could go through and see the Winslow on the left recreated, and the Royal Oak further down on the right. And what you could do is you could build all of these things where you could have replica houses of Goodison Road. And in those places, you could have offices where people liaise with the fan advisory board or the fan groups. You could have sites maybe for streaming or interviews or anything like that. You could have travel where they go in and arrange away days and minibuses and stuff like that. And you could have a huge corridor behind it all where all the staff at the ground are fully trained and they can whiz between the different places. And then all the tables outside and the club, it's more income, it's more revenue. It's just mind-blowing, because it's not about the money, though. I mean, to the club, that's how it makes sense, the bottom line. But to the fans, right, you think that we're going to go to Goodison and everyone has this different routine of walking down County Road. You've got the Brick, you've got the Spellow, the Winslow, the Black Horse, the County, the Castle, all these things, the Thomas Frost. You could recreate some of this atmosphere here on the site of the ground, because people go to the football. It's not just about getting in the ground. And you say they must have thought about these things already, David, right? But there's no sign of it, because we're building a 500 million plus stadium. What's an extra couple of million? It's corporate social responsibility. And as stakeholders, we each own a piece of that club in our hearts and in our wallets, with our season ticket, with us buying shirts and scarves and badges, of getting memberships on Everton Football Club, going to any games. We all contribute to the growth of this club. And the fact that they stop at the end, it's just, it's frustrating. Simon here, a Villa fan, I believe, right? New grounds all feel soulless to me. Hope you don't lose the Goodison Park atmosphere, right? That's it. It's like I've said, maybe stupid aesthetic ideas of taking the wooden floorboards and putting them in perspex or glass on the new concrete things to just keep some of that feel. But, it's, sorry, I've gone on a bit of a rant there, but, and I said I wasn't. But everyone watching has their different rituals and routines and their memories, and it could be the fact that the last time that they saw all their mates together crammed in the Winslow. I mean, I love the place, but it takes you half an hour to get served, and you're sniffing some old guy's armpit, and you're going, "Oh, sorry, love," because you're bumping into her arse every 5 minutes. But it's what you do when you go to the match, and it's just nothing can recreate that. And the fact that there's no attempt to try to recreate that, just it breaks my heart. Sorry. I'm sorry.
Okay. I think you're a bit early on assuming that there will be no attempt, given that the stadium's not going to open for over another year. And if they were to buy these businesses out right now, then these businesses would just be empty for the next year and a half, rather than making the current money that they are. I fully believe, and I said this when we broke ground on the new stadium, that these businesses are going to be bought up because it's just a simple profit and sustainability thing. Whether they want to recreate these bars around or not, that's irrelevant. The fact is, Mashiri and everybody around it is going to get all of the profit from Bramley Moore, whether it's going to be in pubs, hotels, whatever the case. A lot of stores and things of that nature are going to go up. Obviously, Everton 1 is going to move, and you'll have Everton stores around. You'll have Everton-themed hotels around. You'll have more pubs, Everton-related. I just think that, and I am giving Everton a little bit of credit here for, being competent, which is a dangerous thing to do. But what Everton actually do, yeah, that's a dangerous statement to make too. I think in terms of turning over a profit, this is where Mashiri is going to make up a lot of his money. Or, I mean, that's the whole point of this, right? We all think that he's going to have this new stadium and then sell off Everton as a package deal, given that you have the new stadium. I think that there will be things that come up. Now, whether it's going to be an exact replica of places like the Royal Oak and the Winslow and places like that, I can't speak to that. What I can say is, I mean, yeah, we think he's an idiot, but I would like to think that he's not stupid enough to not own up. I did not say that. What a life, though. That would think. If you guys really just think about it, all Everton have had to do is be competent. We haven't even had to be brilliant, the greatest football club in the world. We haven't had to be over the top amazing. All for the last couple of years we've had to do is have a little bit of common sense and be competent, and we would never be near this nonsensical mess that we're in. Just a little bit. We're back underway. Apparently my stream was had to get some adverts in because we're already 46 and a half minutes now, a little bit into the second half.
We miss you, Ems. I've lived in the West Country, and it's right strange round there, isn't it? Especially in Brazil. Right. Well, I could talk like this for the rest of the stream there, Chris, and I don't know. Reckon it'll go down too well with all the Oh Christ, I'm not gonna.
It's up to you. Yeah. Up to you. I could try and put on a different accent, but I don't want to. I don't think I could last the whole stream.
No, I could do my sort of acquired scouse, but I don't know. It seems to come out. Oh, Newcastle just stole the ball off a defender in the box. Oh, he's going. It's 3-1. Yes, Callum Wilson. Oh yes, he just nabbed it off. He nabbed it off a West Ham defender who was dawdling on the edge of the box.
David Moyes is probably having a fit.
Yeah,
I was going to mention that because obviously that's 2 for Callum Wilson, if that is him who scored. And Alexander Isak is on the bench today, which was a little bit surprising. You're playing St. Maximin and Callum Wilson. Obviously, things are working out in that respect, though. Is that Moisey?
Yeah.
Go ahead. Give me the Scottish accent. What's Moisey thinking right now?
Right, we were just shite today. I'm going to go get a bottle of Bucky and just get pissed at home.
Well, then. That was good.
No.
Oh, no, I don't know. Don't play us to a fight.
Right, so Murphy
Don't play us who are with me.
Murphy stole it off. Oh, I don't know who. Played it square, and Callum Wilson just on the 6-yard line, 6-yard box, just open goal, passed it into the goal. Fantastic, wonderful.
When playing it out of the back goes wrong, boy, don't we know. I do not miss that even a little bit. And I can't wait to see what Chelsea look like. I texted my Chelsea mate and I said, Todd Bowley can't be real. It can't be a real person. And his response was, there is no other like this club.
Do you know what? Oh, sorry. Do you know what I really find strange, right? Is if there's uproar about betting, betting services and okay, maybe I'm not. Maybe I shouldn't talk about this, but it seems really strange that West Ham got bought by people who made their money through adult entertainment. Right now, that in and of itself, I'm not puritanical, and people have needs, and there shouldn't be a taboo about it. And certainly, it's very below the belt to call them the Dildo Brothers.
Quite literally below the belt.
Yeah, right. But I do find it very, very.
That's a yellow card.
Oh! It's a bad foul, and that's a bad foul. Oh, Len. Oh! Is it Dan Burns? Someone's on the ground. No, who's on the ground? No, it's not Dan Burn. The giant is still walking.
Kieran Tripp. Botman's the giant.
Botman.
Yeah.
Oh, he's holding his leg. The referee is Craig Pawson is walking around doing nothing. Oh, well, that wasn't that bad. The Newcastle player went in for a ball and kicked the ball, and to be fair,
horrible clearance.
Emerson
what?
Emerson just sort of clattered into him. So I don't know. I can't even tell if it's a yellow card. I don't know, Jeff.
Jeff, we don't know either. Yeah, it was a weird lag. I mean, it felt like it was the internet, even though we clearly Jeff and I tested it beforehand and the internet was fine. As a matter of fact, you jumped in and the internet was fine. It was like as soon as we went live, all of a sudden things went to shit. I don't know what that was about.
No. Anyway, thank you for being patient while I soiled me trousers.
Classic.
Yeah.
This is disgusting, by the way. I just want everyone to understand how sick of a feeling I'm getting from being a Newcastle fan at the moment. Like of a vocal Newcastle fan, not just like, okay, we hope they win, but
Yeah, it's very strange.
Right, so now you realize with your given your recent reactions, if Anthony Gordon comes on and scores, you have to be excited. You will.
Yeah, okay, but here's the thing: is barring a complete change around in circumstances and fortunes for both teams, his goal won't count for anything. Like my dad used to do all these statistics of who scored actual crucial goals, like when there's a 1-goal difference, because there's no apart from goal difference, which only boils down to a handful of occasions in the entire football league, between positions at the end of the season or anything for relegation or promotion or anything like that. That really there's no difference between 2-1 and 1-0 or 2-1 or 2-1 and 4-1 and 5-1. It's because who scores the crucial second goal? Because the third, fourth, fifth, whatever, doesn't make a difference. Did you see what I'm saying there?
To an extent, but I'm not getting behind that really all the way, only because maybe after the final score, maybe after full time or whatever. Because think about it, if you score the fourth goal and then the other team scores a second, then all of a sudden the third goal is the crucial goal. I mean, I get where
that's what I mean. From. It's the third goal becomes so he'd factor that in. But anyway, what I will just say, what I found really strange is it seemed, if I just, because otherwise it's going to eat away at me like a little earworm. When I was talking about West Ham and the owners, right? The thing that irks me is when they came in, I think it's Gold. He appointed his son as the manager with no footballing experience, no management experience, no business management experience. He appointed his son. Oh, that's a foul, Joe Linton, I think.
Rashford's gone down. He looks just like Harry Kane at the moment.
But essentially, the Gold, the owners decided to wave his wallet and his magic wand, not a sexual magic wand, considering where their fortunes came from, and appointed his son as the manager of the women's team. Now, I'm sorry, but to me, that devalues the work that goes in when you've got like Sabrina Wegman and doing the work at the England's football and oh Christ, what's her name? Who does Chelsea's? Emma Wilson? Was that her name? The put in all this work for women playing football who are career professionals, to just put your son as the manager because you bought the men's team. It's frustrating, and it made me feel like, are you devaluing these career professionals?
Who is this? Who are you? Who is doing this?
West Ham's owners. They appointed they appointed their son as the manager of the women's team.
West Ham. I don't know. Nothing surprises me anymore. But of course they are. Of course they're devaluing.
So then that suggests to me, Emma Hayes, that was it. I'm sorry. Thanks, Ems. I said Emma Wilson. I've got Wilson on the brain. Scoring for Newcastle. To me, it suggests that they don't necessarily value women's football or women as much, which ties in with the whole thing of how women are often devalued in the sort of pornography and sex industry. Yeah, anyway.
Well, that content will be going behind our premium paywall. Nearly 2 for United. Another good chance for Marcus Rashford. It's crossed in by Anthony. Rashford's about just a whisker off from tapping that one in. Still 1-0.
Newcastle are all over. Are all over West Ham, like Benjamin Mendy over underage girls. Yeah, that's exactly. Wanderlust is here. Her game too includes taking the game seriously off the pitch. Yeah, that's exactly my point, Wanderlust, and it was frustrating to me. Probably stirred up a hornet's nest here, but to me, it's really frustrating.
United really controlling the narrative here. Not much from Brentford, to be honest.
To be fair, though, Brentford are away at Old Trafford, and they're doing okay. And to be fair, they were away last week or just at the weekend at Brighton. So they've been. Oh, Newcastle are in the box, and that might be looked at. Murphy nearly scored there, but I don't know. I don't know. Sorry, I was too busy chatting absolute wham.
David, I do not. I had Rashford for a lot of the season, and then I switched the lineups up quite a bit in the last couple of weeks for different reasons. I was kind of hoping Rashford would have not the best couple of weeks. And honestly, this one hasn't been great. He did score today, but his last game, it is a double game week, and his last game wasn't very good. But a couple of others.
Sam Maximan got the ball flicked to him. Sorry, Sam Maximan got the ball flicked to him, and I can't quite see. They've just done the replay there. Sam Maximan, Wilson, or Joe Linton. At one point, it was 3 Newcastle players against 1 West Ham player, and they still couldn't score. They've got a corner. He's looped it into the middle. It's playing back and forth, ping pong, and it's gone out. No, it's not. It's on the left, and Newcastle have played it all the way back to Nick Pope, who's hoofed it forwards to the halfway line. No, past the halfway. And I don't know what he's done here. He's just hoofed it forward to Fabianski. decided to Wilson decided to just have a huge volley about 40 yards out for no reason. That was weird. Wild. Sorry for interrupting you there. It was match coverage.
Yeah, the real important stuff.
Wow.
58 minutes on. United and Brentford still 1-0. Looks like a couple of subs getting ready to come on. Nothing too exciting. Brentford finally with a little bit of possession in the attacking half. And that might be a yellow card for Bruno Fernandes. So I'm sure he's going to throw a tantrum. And right on cue, he is. He has been given a yellow, and he's still pissing and moaning at every single referee. Now onto the side linesman who said nothing at any point, but he's just in front of Bruno. So that's enough. What a horrible, like, even if he's one of those, some people say you love to have, you love to have a player like that on your team, but if you play against him, you hate it. I would at no point love to have Bruno Fernandes on my team.
He's too moody.
Yeah, I don't respect players like that even a little bit.
I know this is going to be a spicy take and I might get some flack for this, but it was my take on James Rodriguez, although admittedly it might have been how he was treated a little bit. But I just thought he blew hot and cold a little bit.
He did. People that I actually had a similar take, and that let me be clear, that didn't mean I wanted him off the team by any means. But what?
Oh, no, nothing. I was just saying I've just seen a replay of that Bruno Fernandes yellow card, and when he's going down for the tackle, he takes him out from behind, but he kicks the Brentford player in the family jewels.
Typical Portuguese. No, that's just apologies to our Portuguese viewers. That's a joke.
I genuinely, I've been to Portugal quite a few times, and it is lovely, and the people are lovely and laid back.
Portugal is fantastic. It was going to be a typical like Ronaldo joke, but then I just threw it at Portugal. But that was inappropriate. I apologize.
No, Mark.
No, Bruno's ridiculous.
Rodriguez was class.
No, here's the thing about Rodriguez, though.
I didn't hate him.
I loved James. What James could create while he was on the pitch was unlike anyone else that we had on our current roster, and that's great. But people also seem to forget that James Rodriguez only played like one every 3 matches, right? He was basically he was a very similar fashion at the time to a player like Yerry Mina. Obviously, this season, like Yerry Mina missed a little bit more time, but we weren't getting the full James because he was on the highest wages on the team and he wasn't playing. And so,
also when he did
needed him on, but we just couldn't get him all the time.
And when he did play, the type of football that we needed him to play, we were on the decline. The type of football, I didn't hate him. I felt that he didn't necessarily fit into he wasn't the player that he was capable of being, or we needed him to be, because he was just very, very, we need players that are going to give everything, that are going to run and not just sit around and go like, what? The ball is not at my feet,
Oh, James is French now.
Okay. I can't do a Colombian accent. I'm sorry. Oh, West Ham have got the ball clear through and absolutely nothing.
Bruno dives like the typical Bruno does, and Norgard has somehow been given a yellow card for something that wasn't even a foul. I really sometimes despise this game because it's an absolute joke that was even called, much less given a yellow for. So I want to say that the yellow might have been for a little bit of banter afterwards, but that's an atrocious call.
Oh, sorry, I've just got a little something in my eye. I'm doing a hurricane. Yeah.
What an embarrassment, by the way. And I'm not afraid to say it. And also, let's be as clear as day. It's still under Corey. You still can't raise your hands. You still have to keep your head. You still have to control yourself. But that's Harry Kane is an embarrassment. Yeah. I said it.
It's strange that he can push when it comes to a corner, or when he's got a chance for to jump up for a header, he can push a player around and hold himself up. Sorry, I'm just reading people's comments. Okay, I didn't know he had Raynaud's syndrome. It's the one about circulation where you get cold and goes a different color. Oh, is that Declan Rice?
Also, what do you mean so good on the States tour? I was on the States tour when he was here. He was not so good. I mean, he was on the pitch,
but what you see on the TV is very different from what you maybe see when you're at the match, which is why
I mean, sorry,
I like
go ahead.
going to the I like going to the match, and although I like sitting where I do sit, it's a great atmosphere. Sometimes it's nice to sit a little bit higher up so you can constantly see the entire pitch to
No,
see
I
what work
completely agree.
players are doing, what work players are doing off the ball. Yeah.
I in all sports, I agree. I grew up a big ice hockey fan. I thought the same way, and the same goes for American football because I was a purist and I like to see the play develop and see which routes everybody's running, etc. James Rodriguez was responsible probably at the Florida Cup was for selling more than half of the tickets sold because the contingent of following that now we were also playing a Colombian team, but I'm just speaking from an Everton fan perspective. But for the entire stadium was all about
Newcastle have
James.
got the ball on the edge of the West Ham box. They're working it into the box on the right. Ball's come in. It's deflected. Sam Maximan's got it on the left-hand side. He's playing it across the middle. Oh, no. Never mind. Sorry. No, it's okay. It's just fizzled out to nothing, but I got to cover it in case there's a goal. So he was responsible for selling half the tickets because we were playing a Colombian team. I was listening.
Yeah. No, that's good. That was pretty much it, I guess.
Like, I'm really sorry. I don't mean to be rude. It's like when you've got it in the studio and Paul Merson's like, oh!
When there's a goal, yes. No worries, mate. Just moving on. 64 minutes in the United game, still 1-0.
And we are in the 63rd minute. West Ham. Ben Rama's come off, and someone has obviously come on for him.
Brentford with a little bit of possession here, finally showing some fight. Or perhaps it's more United with a little bit of collapse past the middle. No, nothing doing. Still 1-0. But Brentford, the last 10 minutes, they finally got their first corner of the match, which is nice. You wonder if United will squander this. It would be nice to see United squander this. I want them kind of down on their luck before Saturday.
Do you think, have Man United done well? Have Brentford done well to not concede more? Have United been on top?
Yes, especially for the first few minutes of this half. United had two really, not really good chances, but two chances where you could see them creating something, and Brentford held their own.
Oh, we're seeing the mercenary frosted tip Master General come on. Sam Maximan's come off, and we are seeing the emergence of Anthony.
Oh, Anthony Gordon's on.
Yeah.
It's another corner for Brentford now.
Newcastle are pressuring West Ham even when the defenders have got possession only well in their half. But West Ham have got...
at the end of the day, goal difference is going to come into play. I know West Ham were only on -9 coming into this, but like if they were to lose this game by a significant margin, all of a sudden these games will mean a little bit more for them.
And
Anthony Jordan. How have I not seen that before?
Well, I don't know if you'll be familiar with who she is, but Anthony Gordon's been compared to Claire Balding.
Yeah, I had to look it up, but like weeks ago. But I'm on board with that. It's
but
a shocking resemblance.
I feel it's an insult to Claire Balding because she's a very lovely woman, but also I find it ironic that he's gone to Geordies who are known as horse punchers, and Claire Balding.
Oh, Brentford have a break. Oh, that's a bad miss. Brentford had a break with an opportunity to pass it to the middle. Oh, David De Gea is hurt. I mean, hurt.
Oh.
Let's see. Sorry, I pulled a yawn and I interrupted you. I apologize.
That's okay. No. By all means, it's relevant, especially seeing as we're playing United at the weekend, aren't we?
Yeah, that was a clear. I don't know who was in on goal, but he was on goal, coming in from the right side, so it wasn't a clear breakaway. He takes a wonderful touch around what looks to be.
Was it a knee to the face?
Let me have a look. We're just showing it up close. It's shot. Yeah, actually, okay. So De Gea comes out. He gets the shot on straight away. It's straight at him, but on the follow through, yeah, it's more of actually a forearm to the face. De Gea just kind of like gets in front of him, and he just gets bowled over. Now, De Gea's holding his leg, so I'm curious if it was one of those while he's on his knee, he kind of twisted it back or something like that. To me, it's not malicious. It's just it's been raining for hours at Old Trafford, and so it's one of those where I don't think either one of them could have really done much about it.
No, I can see how he falls. He goes down on one knee and bends the other leg, and maybe overextends his inner thigh.
That'll be interesting. Who is their backup, by the way? It's not Dean Henderson. Dean Henderson is at Forest, if I remember correctly, right?
That's a good question.
Let's have a look. I should know this, but I don't. I apologize to all of my loyal viewers. Let's see.
We once again do appreciate you, Butland, Jake or Jack Butland. I can't remember. He was at
I don't know who that is.
Okay. Oh, there was he was basically in the running to compete, or people were arguing that he was competing with Pickford about 5 years ago or so, and that maybe we maybe could have signed him.
Rashford looks to possibly be coming off. No, it looks like he is going to stay on for a bit. We'll see.
Is De Gea up again, or are they just showing
the highlight? He's up. Oh no, they were showing the highlight. De Gea looks to be up, but it looks as though he's going to stay on. Yeah, he's getting warmed up again. I guess, or kind of just jumping around. So it looks like he'll stay on. We'll see if they actually apply that added time at the end or not. Also going to be interesting. It must be said, I say it a lot, but with these current fixture congestions coming up, especially for a team like United, who are both still in Europe and the FA Cup, it's going to be interesting to see how Erik ten Hag manages these minutes, especially given the fact that United and Everton play the early game on Saturday, a 12:30 kickoff local time, 6:30 kickoff my time. This will be the first early kickoff I have on this Follow Everton channel, so expect to see a coffee-filled Christopher on Saturday.
I do apologize for not being as professional and polite. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's your
what are you talking
American
about?
Influence. No, I'm just saying my migraine seems to have got a little bit better, but it could have been because I've actually eaten a meal.
Those things do. Oh,
West Ham were going forward the ball. Oh, they were on the left, and now West Ham have got a corner. Kufau had managed to come on. It's Cornet that's come on. Cornet has come on with 99. Oh no!
At some point, Alexander Isak came on as well. I've just been updated on fantasy, so.
Oh, enough about your fantasies. Well, we are after the watershed, though.
That's right. Hence our adult entertainment conversation, although that might have been right on the cusp. I'm not sure when we started this one.
Anyway.
Oh, no. Premium content.
Right. Yeah, for just $1.99 per viewer, I will keep my clothes on.
That's how we've finally raised some funds on this channel. I love it.
TJ thinks Ten Hag is so over it. Oh, Ems has said they've enjoyed the humour. Some late night Follow Everton lives could be fun.
True.
Do we mean
trending worldwide?
Oh dear. The Puritans. 3-0 Real Madrid. It's really not going well for Barcelona, is it?
At home, nonetheless. They took a 1-0 lead into this game on aggregate.
They're very
By the
fragile.
way, just to give you a quick look at this, nothing's really changed, but just so we all have a little bit of a visual. What's just happened? 4-1?
No. Anthony Gordon's just collapsed and didn't get a free kick.
Jesus. The pettiness is fantastic. Just to give you a glimpse of the table, nothing's really changed. At the top, both Newcastle and Man United both winning, so they still remain third and fourth. Their points total obviously has changed, which has pushed Tottenham outside a little bit more than just a questionable goal difference. And quite honestly, Brighton, Tottenham are there for the taking, because what I saw the other day was an absolute disaster of a football team. And to be fair, I know they're inconsistent, but they're going to have to improve on a lot of things because they are just a garbage football team at the moment. But near the bottom of the table, West Ham still in 15th, a little bit further behind. They came into this game -9 on goal difference, now -11, which ties them on -11 with Leicester, which again, and Leeds for that matter as well, which again, you never know what's going to matter towards the end. They do have games in hand, but the games in hand mean nothing if you don't put points on the board, as we found out in 2021.
And you know what points mean, don't you, Chris? It's a very English reference.
Oh, points mean prizes. Points mean
something.
Points
mean prizes.
Yes. All right. I'm in there. Hey, when I'm overseas, by the way, my TV is locked onto the Challenge channel. I am a massive fan of English game shows. I watch them all day long.
I feel like watching Everton at the moment is like being a participant on Takeshi's Castle.
We could give you a lot of shows that watching Everton is like. I've got a cool idea, by the way, of doing like a funny, like on the green screen behind, or even right now I could do it at Goodison Park. This is perfect in the director's box. So obviously you see my microphone here. So I also had this one, which I had used for other podcasts before, but I took it apart because I want to have something mobile for when I do things on the green screen, and I can be pointing and have this, in front. It's going to be a great broadcast. But I've got some funny ideas. So hopefully we can get, I love how I'm holding this like I'm speaking into it right now. Good Lord. Getting into the moment, I guess.
Right.
So we've got some fun stuff planned.
I've got another example of a TV show that it's like being an Evertonian. It's like Red Dwarf because it's 3 million years in the future, and we're still waiting to find out where the Arteta money's gone.
We've had good times. We've had good times. Oh, there have been good times. We've had good times.
I swear to God, if we could do more of a podcast or stream that I'm making absolutely pointless pop culture references. Well, I'd say pop culture, but I mean what I recall. But if there's anything that's actual pop music or what's in the charts at the moment, I haven't got a clue. Is it Whitney Houston? Oh, she's dead. Sorry. I mean, no poor taste, but
hey, okay. I've got a good one. If you want to give me a let's see. If you really want to play a quiz show, we could say which player featured in this past match and featured for the last 10 matches for Spurs on their bench is the pointless answer. And the answer would be Arnaud Danjuma.
Yeah, I was just going to say, it's until you said 10 matches, I was thinking, oh, wait, hang on. Isn't it that guy who moonlights as a coach driver?
What a decision, by the way. He's played 11 minutes now for Spurs since, what was it, January 1st or whenever the transfer, the late January, whatever it was, ever since that stupid decision was made. So congratulations, Danjuma. You're doing great for yourself, buddy.
Well, like I said in one of my recent poems, I try to fit it in every so often, is that, we don't really care that much, about fancy foot. It's nice because it helps a player build their confidence, and it's it helps build their confidence. But we just want to see a player do the fundamentals and the basics and run, and that's why I mean, okay, he took a great penalty, but David Unsworth, we liked him, and and Tony Hibbert, and Seamus Coleman, and sorry, I'm just watching Newcastle sort of fizzling out, and it is absolutely bucketing it down in London. We've got 15 minutes of regular time left, and Newcastle are fully controlling this match. West Ham get it in fits and starts, but they're very disjointed. I mean, just before they played a ball through, Kieran Trippier slid and cut it out and intercepted, and this was a couple of minutes ago. And to be fair, the only reason that West Ham had any possession after that was because when he was on the floor, he tried to take another swipe at the ball and just caught a West Ham player who was following through not that kind of following through, but chasing up on the loose ball.
The Blues, it will be 6:30 in the a.m., which means our pre-match show when the team news comes out will be 5:30 a.m., and I will be here for it. Believe it or not, I actually like the early kickoffs here. I mean, it's not my favorite thing in terms of not getting as much sleep, but it is kind of cool to get up before the sun comes up and then all of a sudden have football on.
Yeah. What a
Stuff to
good
do
start to
throughout
the day, eh? Well,
Yeah,
not
I mean,
necessarily.
to be fair, unless it's I mean, at this game, or at this juncture, it seems like almost no game is meaningless for Everton. But unless it's just a game that I completely have no interest in whatsoever, I usually get up for the early kickoffs anyway. So, but not this will obviously be a little bit earlier, given the fact that I have to do a little bit of prep and then see the team news, which honestly should be the same, with the obvious exception being Decore. So actually, you know what? Let me backtrack off that statement immediately then, because it might not be the same depending on what Deitch wants to do with the tactics. I think it's going to be the other 10 still in the match because he doesn't want to mess with something that seems to be working. Yes, I know it was still a draw last match, but at the same time, you can't deny that there was fight, grit, heart, attack the entire time. Really, all of the players were on the pitch. So.
Sorry, I think this will be one that maybe only you and any people who know American things. The best thing about waking up is we're not in the cup.
Who said? Are they singing that now? Newcastle.
No, it was just in America. Is it Folgers in your cup or something?
Folgers, yeah.
Folgers, yeah. It's for anyone out there, it's a wonderfully delicious freeze-dried brand of American coffee that comes from the Himalayan Andean Alps of some processing factory somewhere.
It is not that wonderfully delicious unless they decide to sponsor our channel, and then I'll be all about it. But other than that, no, not so much.
I would like to point out, just as we are doing this, a very big there's a foul. It's right on the edge of the Newcastle penalty area. And it looks like Willock has committed a foul against Bowen.
Oh, Brentford with an opportunity. It's just what?
No. It's okay.
Nothing good here. It was Brentford are at least threatening a bit, but nothing major. United on the counter are looking a little bit better because Brentford are pushing most of their players up. Rashford now on the counter. It's a 2v1. Great defense thus far. Rashford still with possession inside the box. It's gone to the middle. It's sailed over the bar, and a wasted chance for Fred.
My dad always found it funny that he was touted as this amazing player, from Brazil and stuff, and his name's just Fred.
He's got one of the best names ever. And he's been around quite a while, by the way.
And Hulk. And
Hulk was legendary.
Yeah.
But Fred is the best. I mean, it's just an actual normal name. Like, I mean, I'm trying to just imagine if I played, football in a major league and the name on the back of my shirt's Chris.
and Arthur. There's another one as well. Yeah. So my dad did like all these. He created a player. He created a team of players that's names or recognized names were just first names. So there was Anthony. There was Alan. There was Fred.
Alan is a good one.
Bruno, I think.
Talk amongst yourselves, folks. I will be right back.
Okay. There was Allison. Okay. All right, then. But we, sorry, it's another thing that my dad and I used to do. I know you're probably sick of me talking about my dad so much on the channel and everywhere. But another one was we used to try and find players that had initials that were the same as their personalities. Okay, how long left in the West Ham game? 10 minutes left. West Ham got a free kick on the right-hand side of the Newcastle box as a result of Willock's foul on Bowen, and it was whipped in and was about a couple of yards away from the far corner and was nothing. And now Newcastle are back on top, and Anthony Gordon was running like a headless chicken towards the ball, and the ball's just gone away from him and he's nowhere. And now the ball's been fed through. Oh no, Newcastle defender cut it out. West Ham have now got it about 35, 40 yards out. They've got some sustained possession for 20 seconds. But Anthony Gordon slid in and won it back. I mean, I suppose fair enough. Not that I really care because they are 2 goals up. Oh, and he's there's been a cock up. It's 4-1.
Who scored?
It's been a cock up. Fabianski ran out against 2 West Ham defenders as Willock, not Willock, as Wilson,
Isak.
I think, was closing it down.
Callum Wilson's got a third?
No, it's not Callum Wilson. Sorry, it's
It's got to be Isak then.
I can't remember. Yeah, it's Isak. I do apologise. Isak ran out, and Fabianski, making a complete tit of it, just jumped into it. It bounced off him. He went past the ball as Isak just sort of controlled it, and the 2 West Ham players were about 3 or 4 yards in front of him, and he just volleyed it over. It's incredible. A ball goes forward. Isak's chasing it between 2 West Ham players. Fabianski goes out and sort of does like a side skip, like a jump to the side, and brings his feet up to one side and taps the ball. And it's hilarious.
I've just turned it back on. I've got to, because I wanted to see this one live. Hang on, I've got it on now. I was a little bit behind, but I've just rewound it. Let's see.
Yes.
So I'm watching the long ball in now. Oh, what a play! But what is he doing, Fabianski?
It's absolute clown shoes. It is.
Oh, that about sums up West Ham's season, doesn't it? And then Isak's just kind of laughing, like, yeah, whatever. Oh man, that's fantastic. That might look better in slow motion. Let me make sure. Young man, what are you thinking?
I'm not really one to laugh because, Everton, but...
Yeah, but the ball does take a little bit of a skip. It obviously did not bounce the way he thought it would. That goes without saying, but there must have been a little bit of top spin on because he's ready to just boot that one. And then all of a sudden Fabianski, he does his little whatever. And then all of a sudden he sees Isak kick the ball, and then he just pulls one of these, just like,
it's the kind of jump that like Ryan Reynolds and what's his name, and Will who's that guy that's I could be brown, I could be blue, I could be the sky, I could be purple, I could be
idea.
Anything you like. The guy who played Elf.
Oh, Will Ferrell.
Yeah, Will Ferrell. When they sort of do those jokey jumps to the side and it freeze frames like, woo, you know what I mean?
For the ones asking, we didn't go into depth on this, but I mean, here's the thing. Sorry, wrong comment. Appreciate the comment, the Blues. That wasn't the one I was looking for, but more sacked in the morning. Here's the thing. Had we not seen the likes of Brendan Rodgers and Graham Potter get sacked and the Steve Cooper rumors, I would say no. But now I almost feel like West Ham might follow suit. The argument against is jeez. I'll leave that one alone. But my thing is, if the argument against would be if West Ham haven't sacked Moyes by now, they're not going to, which I still sort of believe, but it wouldn't shock me either way. But again, if these other teams aren't going to be able to get a manager, or if Chelsea is for some reason resorting to Frank Lampard, I have no clue what Chelsea are doing. But who is going to go to West Ham? Who's going to go to Forest if they sack Steve
Rafael
Cooper?
Benitez, Sam Allardyce. Dan Burner's come up.
So
and
Rafael
Matt
Benitez is just going to be at 3 different clubs then, I guess, because if he's going to be at Leicester, I don't know. Well, now, West Ham are nuts enough to give Rafa a 3-year deal. But at the same time, any deal will likely be contingent on staying in the Premier League. I don't think Rafa's going to coach in the Championship again. I don't know. I have no idea.
Well, Fulham did okay despite not having Mitrovic. So you'd think if they're away and they can possibly try and they've had maybe a bit more time to train and prepare to have a match.
Which part? Which part did Fulham do okay with not having Mitrovic?
look, if you're going to ask me to have evidence to back up my claims, then this is not going to work very well.
Fulham have done very poor without Mitrovic. That's the point I'm making. They lost to West Ham and they blew a 1-0 lead to Bournemouth. And that wasn't meant to call you out, but the point I'm making is like Fulham are shite without Mitrovic. And I think that we're hoping that they take that into Everton as well.
Yeah, I mean,
hang on, I might be wrong on that. Fulham did play. Yeah, no, I'm sorry. They blew the lead to Bournemouth. For some reason, who did West Ham just play? I got that mixed up. West Ham just beat Southampton at home. That's what it was. Same colors.
Only 1-0 though.
Yeah, that's the thing. West Ham. I came out of that game thinking West Ham are still trash, but I didn't foresee a 4-1 loss today by any means, or so far.
No, it seems that this result has very much gone in our favour. West Ham's remaining home fixtures: Arsenal, Liverpool, Man United, Leeds on May the 20th, which is, I think, either the penultimate or the one before, the anti-penultimate.
Yeah, and West Ham, say what you will about West Ham because they have looked poor, but their home form had actually been okay before this game. They win 1-0 with Southampton coming into town. They draw Villa 1-1. They beat Forest 4-0. They draw with Chelsea 1-1. They beat Everton 2-0. The last real home fixture that they didn't have a good one was against Brentford. They lost that one 2-0. But again, before that, that's why I thought they might be okay with these home fixtures, even though they're tough. Now, having said that, obviously the Chelsea draw doesn't look as good. You know, you could point to some of these games and say, well, these teams aren't what we thought they were. But this is also a West Ham team, though, that no more than 2 months ago drew Newcastle 1-1 at St. James's Park. So they did match up sort of well with them seemingly, but today the wheels fell off very early. They were down 2-0 on 13 minutes, something like that. So
you can see down the bottom of our ticker the wonderfully detailed. Sorry, it was 12 minutes or something like that. 13 minutes, 13 minutes.
Yeah, and
I mean, why can't Everton do that, Chris? Why can't Everton do that?
Do what? Create a ticker?
No. Go 2 goals up, and then build on it.
So it happened this season when we played Palace. I don't remember the last time Everton have gone 2-0 up. Was it Brighton last season? Like the third game of the year or fourth game, whatever it was?
Oh, I mean, we lost 4-1 in the first game of this year.
No. We lost 1-0 the first game of this year to Chelsea.
Oh God,
no! Brighton you're talking about. No. I'm saying in terms of I'm saying last
Newcastle
season
have got the ball in the box. Anthony Gordon's going through, and he's just hit it at a West Ham player.
I think that's. I know we beat Brighton 2-0 last season. That was our only away win until the Leicester match, but I don't remember another game. I mean, maybe there was a home game. Never mind. We dismantled Leeds and Brentford at some point last season, both at Goodison Park, which really makes you. I mean, that was right when the Frank Lampard era started. You really thought you might have had something, but not to be.
Well, yeah. So for anyone interested, what were the remaining West Ham fixtures? They're away to Fulham. They've also got a UEFA League game, I think.
We've got 2. They're in the Conference League quarterfinals, so they have 2 games in addition to already having to make up a Premier League game as well.
Yeah. They've got Fulham. Away at Fulham this weekend. Then they've got just before. On the Thursday they're away. Oh, it's 5-1.
Who's got it? West Ham's goal difference taking a major hit today. I'm behind, but I'll see it here in a second.
I will update everything accordingly. I'll put on the West Ham remaining fixtures because they've obviously still got a game in hand, but they've got a very congested fixture list. 5-1.
Who sent that to Joe?
Okay,
Who sent that ball to Joe Linton? Was that Kieran Trippier? Joe Linton looks taking
I think I saw a flash of blonde hair. It could have been Gordon.
No. It was a defender.
No, it was a midfielder
that sent the ball to Joe Linton.
Yeah. We will see.
We shall see. I wouldn't bet my stack on it. That is a midfielder. You're right. Maybe that was Gordon. Don't know. Either way, it's 5-1 regardless. West Ham now on -13. And again, some of these games can go this way, meaning that the goal difference just at this point means almost not. There are so many games still left to play. I know 9 doesn't seem like a lot, or 10 in West Ham's case, but I don't see. Here's the thing about Everton. Sean Dyche's Everton. I know we got the Arsenal game out of the way. I don't see a fixture on that list that's going to be a 4-0 loss or a 4-goal loss of any kind under Sean Dyche and under this new Everton squad, team, whatever you want to call it. I do see a team like Forest losing another game by 4. I do see a team like Southampton losing a game by 4. I can see Leicester winning a game by 4 or losing a game by 4 because I don't know what the hell is going on in Leicester City at the moment. What a weird team Leicester are. And they better put points on the board quick. We're into the last minute of added time. 4 minutes were added, Man United, and United really are still controlling it. This should be a 1. They should see this off as a 1-0 victory.
Yeah, there's 4 minutes. There's 4 minutes of added time at West Ham, and there's 2 minutes left. Yeah, and the ground is empty.
Yeah, they've had enough. You know, I know. We this changes every week. Oh, this team could go down. Oh, I could see this team going down. West Ham, I mean, the fixtures that they have remaining and the fixture congestion and just the way that they're getting beat today, I don't know where they're going to pick up points looking at the rest of the year. I mean, maybe at Fulham, but next week, but I don't, or this weekend, I should say. Don't know. Arsenal come into what? Forget the Europa Conference just for a second. Just in the league games, they go to Fulham, they host Arsenal, and then they go to Bournemouth. So even their away form has been abysmal, and even their quote unquote easier games, they go to Crystal Palace. All of their lower half games, with the exception of Leeds United in the penultimate game, are on the road where they can't win. Like they can't even contend, much less win.
Yeah, they've got. They've got Liverpool as well on a Wednesday game.
Oh no, they are hosting Liverpool. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
What a gauntlet that is. Okay, so in the span of how many days is this? In the span of 10 days, they go to Bournemouth. 4 matches in 10 days. They go to Bournemouth. They host Liverpool. They go to Palace. They host Man City. Good luck.
Yeah, it's crazy. Palace on the 29th.
Yes, correct. Early kickoff for that one too.
You don't need to call me sir. Just your lord and overseer is fine.
I'll take the under on that one. Lord and overseer. It's all over at Old Trafford. It is 1-0 to Man United.
And the whistle is about to be blown.
Thomas Frank, his usual classy self. And that's that.
Moyes is already ordering a U-Haul and getting a big storage box.
I think he might get the sack. And I don't know what else. A manager now is going to come in, try to save this team from relegation, all the while trying to play, figure out these Europa Conference games as well. I know there's some sort of, I think we talked a little bit about this on our Bottom 9 show. There's some sort of protocol into who you can and can't play. Like if you just throw a team of U18s out in the Europa Conference League, apparently you're going to be looked down upon, or you might get in trouble for that. But like they have no choice. They cannot play a full squad or even anywhere close to that in these conference games, given their position in the Premier League. Right?
Well, you'd think so. I mean, interestingly, if they get through to the quarterfinals against Ghent, which you think that they will do, right? When is the semi-finals scheduled for that?
Oh
that
man,
league?
I hope they do. I don't know. I don't know, but I hope they do. What a narrative that would be.
They're like, no, fuck off, leave us alone. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So their last game, is it against Leicester?
Yes, it's at the King Power on May 28th. That absolutely could be a win or go down game. Somebody asked, would you rather Bournemouth or West Ham win? That's in a couple of weeks, but we don't know. That's what I keep saying. And some people are tired of me saying it, and that's fine. I apologize, but it's been proven by this weekend's results that you don't know who you want to win. So we don't really know. For all we know, by that point, Bournemouth could be 13th, or they could be dead bottom. Same with
I would
West
just like
Ham.
to point out for everyone's attention as well that Tottenham Hotspurs, the home of Danjuma and Richarlison, have just been bumped down into 5th place, and they have played one extra game over Manchester United and Newcastle, who have just overtaken them 3 points ahead.
Yes, we have the live table here as well. It's not completely updated on. Oh, it is completely updated. How about that? Tottenham Hotspur are a trash football team at the moment. I don't care what anybody says. What I saw and what I've seen for the last couple of weeks is just not good. And it'll be interesting to see if they even remain in Europe, which sounds a little bit silly. But given the form that Villa are on right now and the fact that I'm never going to bet against Brighton at any point this season, not to mention this other team down here, along with Brentford, are also obviously going to make a run as well. Lampard to West Ham, wouldn't that be funny? That's not official, by the way. I don't think him going to Chelsea. I think it's still technically a rumor, and he's expected to take it. I don't think he's signed anything, though, has he?
Well, I don't know.
Geof seemed very convinced that deal was done.
I don't. I wouldn't say done. I mean, although having said that, he was there.
Yeah, but then he wasn't
there watching the game.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you meant he was there as a manager before. He was there watching. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I love Chelsea Football Club right now.
Oh.
Nobody scored. The games are over.
Would you like to know when the semi-finals are? If West Ham can beat KAA Ghent over 2 legs,
okay.
If West Ham can do that, then they will be through to the semi-finals, which will be played on the 11th and the 18th of May, which will be between West Ham's away game to United and a few days before. I mean, their home game to West Ham is 3:00, but it might get pushed back to Sunday. I don't know, but then that would mean it might be televised. I don't know. No, wouldn't be televised if it's a 3:00. Well, you never know. But yeah, that could see them have a jam in the fixtures. So they would then play on the 29th or the 28th, and then the 3rd of May, then the 7th, then the 11th, then the 13th, then the 18th, and then the 20th against Leeds.
That would be fun. I would enjoy that greatly.
Yeah, it would. Just if anyone's interested in any of that, if they do decide to put out a strong team and Ghent go, well, we can't win this, or if they just do win it, then that would see them play a game a couple of days before their game against Brentford. And then who didn't seem to be that impressive against United, and then they'd play a couple of days before their game against Leeds, which, Leeds might be on the up a little bit. We don't know, but like you said last week when we did that show, who we're hoping to win every game or two or week is different depending on the other results.
Right. The only team we hope wins and score goals at this point is wearing royal blue on Merseyside, but that's a question that is always up in the air as to if whether they'll score. What do you think the lineup looks like this weekend, given no Decore?
James Garner.
Think so? I'm not convinced of that, although I hope it happens. But
I hope so.
Just him, though. So he slots in, or do we change the tactics up and put Gray and Sims up front? We've been clamoring for Gray and Sims up front, by the way, for the last 6 weeks.
No, I'm sorry. I've just completely been an idiot. What we're going to see is, it would be nice to see Garner get a run out because he's the right kind of physical player that could potentially bring it. But why it seems stupid that we probably, that it's possible that we'll see Alex Iwobi in centre midfield.
Right.
Gray will be out wide in his position, and we might see Sims up front.
So then you have in the middle Iwobi, Ghana, and Onana, and then you keep McNeil on the left side, and then you put Gray on the right. I think that if that, no, maybe not. I was going to say, I think if that were a possibility, we would have already seen it. I don't think he wanted to mess or tinker with it. I don't know. This is the first time in a while, though, that we've had one of those where it's like we could see maybe 2 or 3 different options. Because for the last 3 weeks, let's be honest, we knew what the lineup was going to be. He was going to put the same. Yeah, exactly. I don't know. I would like to see at some point. I mean, if we see what we just described, that means we're also still getting James Garner on 80 minutes. I want to see James Garner for longer than 80 minutes. James Garner looked very confident. He looked very competent with the ball. He looked like he already had his passes set up. It was a one-touch simple. I know he didn't do much. Don't get me wrong. He didn't have a lot of time on the pitch, but the point is when he was, it seemed like his brain was working just fine and he could make things happen. Now, yes, there is a difference between a 12 to 15-minute fresh legs player and a 90-minute player. So that is saying a lot. But the fact of the matter still remains is I want to see what we have. I want to see what we have in this new signing, if you like. From Manchester United, as a matter of fact. Go back to Old Trafford and put one on the back of the net.
Yes.
Get it.
That would be good. So, wow. How are you feeling after those results?
About the same. I mean, I think that I didn't think that the West Ham game, I didn't think that West Ham would win. Honestly, I thought that game might be a draw. That sounds silly in hindsight now, but that's how decent West Ham's form had been for the last 5-6 weeks. But man, I'm feeling like it was. I mean, the Fabianski howler was funny. I'm feeling like Moyes might not have a job tomorrow or in about an hour. But I guess so. Maybe it is nice that they're dragged back in. I mean, there's nothing ever wrong with having another team dragged into this mess just in case. And honestly, I think West Ham have more of a shot at being below some of these others given their fixtures. I think I said that on our bottom 9 show. I said this the other day. I don't remember what I said in terms of who was going to go down because we kept going back and forth a little bit. I know you and Mabs had Leeds, Southampton, and somebody else, Bournemouth. I want to say I had it the same. The first thing I said was, I think it's going to be the same way it is now, which to my knowledge was West Ham, Bournemouth, and Southampton. And then I think I might have changed that to Forest, but I don't remember who I had staying up. But regardless, West Ham are fully in the mix.
I might have messed around with it. But having said that, I think Southampton are looking more and more likely to be the team that are going down.
Eugene asks a great question. Are you watching the Sean Dyche United versus Everton press conference? Not only will we be watching that, we will be having our pre-match discussion tomorrow night as well. Now, how far after that press conference, I'm not exactly sure, but we'll be sure to keep you updated on the Twitter.
And it does. I have the dentist tomorrow, so it all depends on how the dentist goes.
So Jan will be talking with his bottom lip on the floor, which will be great. On the floor. There is a hilarious comedic. It's like a whole bit routine about the dentist, with the only issue being that it is Bill Cosby, and so some people don't exactly feel comfortable listening to that anymore. Growing up, that was one of the funniest comedic routines I'd ever heard in my life, though, so I'm kind of on the fence. But
yes, well, I don't think we should talk about Bill Cosby and paralyzing drugs.
No, that's terrible. Maybe that was the inspiration. Who knows? And on that note, that seems like a perfect time to tell you to like, subscribe, and share if you haven't already. Leave what you think about this broadcast and or any celebrity that you may or may not like in the comments section. We always appreciate your feedback. 4-0 to Real Madrid. My God. You'd have made a fair amount of money, I think, if you'd have thrown a bet on that one.
Thanks, Barry.
Listen, we appreciate this. Has been a couple of hours. Obviously, that's a long time to listen to us blabber on. So we appreciate everybody that stuck with us this whole time. We hope you had a good time. These watch-alongs are a lot of fun, and I have a good feeling that we might be doing this more often, but we'll just see how it goes. But if you haven't, like I said, if you haven't liked us already, please do so. Smash that notifications bell. My personal channel at Real Domino Chris. I am recording my first podcast here in about an hour's time, which I'm very, very excited about. And then we're going to have a lot of those, plus some fun poker and chess content very soon as well. That's my personal stuff, though. We are a team here at Follow Everton, and we hope that you like all of our stuff, and I couldn't do it without these other guys. Jan, you got anything to wrap up with?
That's a very personal question. Oh,
well then, lad. Speaking of West Ham, we got West Ham on the brain all day.
Yes. Thank you very much for everyone for joining us, for putting up and not raising too many questions about my mushroom pizza.
Awful.
Yeah. It's been it's been great. Yeah. Eddie Howe going from strength to strength at Newcastle with an investment from, I mean, it's almost like the Everton alternate timeline.
Do I have to say this, by the way? Do I have to say this at all the rest of the season? I'm looking at Newcastle's fixtures. They play Southampton once. They play Leeds. They play Leicester. I don't want to be a Newcastle fan any longer. I feel like I need to shower.
I mean, that's kind of what happens when you go up there.
Away the Toffees.
Vegetarian or kosher? Neither. I don't follow rules if they don't actually serve a purpose. Anyway, on that note.
Cheers, everybody. Thanks for joining us. We will see you tomorrow. Keep an eye on the press conference and then keep an eye for us. I'm not sure exactly what time. We will keep you updated, though, as soon as we find out. But we will have some live content for you tomorrow discussing Everton v Man United, which is Saturday, the early half 12 kickoff. For my buddy Jan, I am Domino Chris. We will see you next time. Up the Toffees.
Up the Toffees.
Mm-hmm.